All right, peace and blessings, everybody. It's Friday, July the 6th, 2018. I've got my wife, Erin, here.
Hello, everybody.
And we both watched a couple of documentaries on Darlie Routier in Rowlett, Texas, which is not very far from us. It's literally less than half an hour. And I just recommend you guys go watch it. One of the episodes, Erin, is called The Last Defense, Season 1, Episode 1, I believe. Or The Last Defense, Episode 1. It's been taken off YouTube. So the video that we previously watched is no longer on YouTube, but you can probably find it on Netflix. But there's another video that's like a documentary that is available on YouTube, and I want you guys to watch it and see how this lady was convicted. One of the things her husband said struck out at me. He said if she was guilty, it would be easier because he could go on with his life, but because he knows that she's innocent, he's going to fight until his dying breath for his wife. And anything you remember that you want to say about the movie other than just people should watch it?
There's reasonable doubt, and the transcripts were tampered with, and the judge wouldn't correct that.
Wow, that's a very good point. I almost forgot. The transcripts were blatantly wrong. So when you're reading the transcripts, you think you're reading the court record. They were big time wrong, and the judge wouldn't even allow the transcripts to be corrected, and they were blatantly the opposite of what was actually said in the audio. That's a big deal, Aaron. Thank you for remembering that. The other thing is the silly string demeanor evidence. You don't put somebody on death row because they don't act the way you think they should act when somebody dies. And she didn't even bring the silly string, and that's just not evidence of a crime whatsoever. You can't put somebody in prison for not acting the way you think they should act. And that was after 2 hours of having a memorial service and crying.
I think Christians' demeanor at funerals is a lot different than non-believers at funerals.
Yeah, that's so true. We're celebrating that they're with God in heaven. And, of course, if you're not a Christian, you won't understand that behavior. The other thing to share is her defensive wounds, the bruises on her arm, the severity of the cut on her neck and her arm, and, you know, almost going through the bone and through the arm.
The one on her neck was 2 millimeters short of killing her in her carotid artery, and there is question whether or not the defensive bruises under her arm were even shown in the courtroom.
That's right. It seems to be another case of withholding exculpatory evidence. One juror member that actually was a juror in her trial said had he had seen the bruises on her arm, he would not have convicted her. He would not have voted guilty. So I think...
Plus there was a bloody sock down the road with both children's blood on it.
That's right. That's right. The bloody sock down the road, 75 yards down the road. So there may be those of you listening that know the details of this case much better than Aaron and I. It just recently came to our attention, and we did watch both of these documentaries. I'll put the link for one of them in the description bar. But keep in mind, the other documentary, it's called The Last Defense, Episode 1. It's no longer on YouTube that I can find, but you can probably watch it on Netflix or Amazon Prime, wherever you care to go look for it. But if you start to watch many of these cases across like a broad section, you start to see similar behavior with the district attorneys and the prosecuting attorneys. And I believe we should stop promoting them just for winning a case. They should be interested in justice and doing what's right, and not just interested in getting a conviction at all cost.
Yeah, there's a such thing as trial tax, and people who go to trial and don't plead guilty get, 5 times the sentence?
Yeah, very long.
And that's not right, and there's barely any rehabilitation. They come out worse than they are, and I think our sentences in this country, I haven't done the study, but you could let me know if I'm right or wrong, are a lot longer than other countries' sentence structures.
That's right. That's right. Just like we recommended you guys educate yourself about David Crowley, who was the producer of The Gray State, who was involved in a horrific murder-suicide, supposedly. We're recommending you educate yourself about Darlie Routier. She's on death row, Texas death row, and this lady's going to be put to death if God doesn't work a miracle, and I believe there is reasonable doubt. You can tell me what you think after you watch the documentaries and educate yourself. God bless and take care.